And a very warm welcome to the 2006 Philippines World Pool Championships. Welcome viewers joining us here on ESPN. It's the thriller in the Manila 2, a race to 8 with alternate breaks, and referee in charge of the action is Mr. Nigel Reyes. It's now time to meet our players. In fact, it's time to meet a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, from Angeles City in the beautiful Philippines, Pinaki Mangalin, numero uno. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the magician, Efren Reyes! And now, ladies and gentlemen, originally from Manchester, England, now based in Florida, USA, would you please welcome Tony Crosby?
So, here we go then. Tony Crosby finds himself in the loneliest seat in the house. Not only is he going up against one of the living legends of this sport, Efren Reyes, but he's going up against a crowd as well, because it is packed out here to see, well, one of the most reluctant sporting superstars you'll ever meet. But this man's a legend in the Philippines, and he's a legend throughout the game, and rightly so.
Indeed, you said it. Reyes undoubtedly the favorite of the field for this home crowd. But he better not look past Tony Crosby. Crosby has come on strong the past couple of years. The man can play.
And as you heard, he's flying under your flag these days, Jerry, although originally he was one of us. Now, quite why anybody would want to leave rainy old Manchester for sunny old Florida, I can't imagine. But anyway, that's the move that Tony made. He now makes his home in
no flash.
Spring Hill, Florida.
Indeed.
World rank number 50. Where is Spring Hill?
First track.
It's on the west coast of Florida, sort of in a line, well, a little bit north of Miami, actually.
Oh, what a miserable life he must lead out there.
Yeah, he's I believe he's gotten his American citizenship now.
He's certainly representing the United States. That is for certain.
His game has really come on the last couple of years too.
And he's got a fancy nickname as well, the Sniper.
Yes. Well, the Sniper's got a tough shot to begin with. You can see after this break the one ball setting up in a line on the middle of the table with the cue, so not the easiest shot with which to begin a rack.
Yeah, a Group 2 match. The other gentlemen in this group are Radoslav Babika of Poland and from Indonesia, Roy Apancho. You get the feeling that those two guys and Crosby are fighting out their own little personal race between three of them for second spot, because if it goes according to form, Reyes will win this group, which leaves one available opportunity. So if it gets close, and all these guys have to think that you might not beat Efren Reyes, but you want to pick up some racks if you can, because if you get to tiebreakers, racks in the bank might come in very handy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's see how he chooses to begin.
He heads for the hills, and
can't blame him.
No.
Hey, that's a good shot.
Met with stony silence in the from the pro Reyes crowd.
No, I don't think Tony's going to look forward to a lot of applause in this match.
You couldn't play it much better than that. Plenty of distance between object ball and cue ball. Two balls obscuring the path, and that one's got the black 8 tucked in behind it as well, so even the magician might find digging your way out of this one a bit of a problematic situation.
Well, he's made a hit, but he's certainly not going to be very pleased with this. He's left Crosby a rather elementary shot on the 1, and from there actually a path through the entire rack, so Efren not going to be real happy with that.
Well, Crosby made his good fortune there. That really was a very strong safety shot.
It was.
It was tough to get out of. And Reyes certainly has a good safety, well, obviously he has a good safety game. There are no real elements to his game that you consider a weakness with Reyes.
No, we used to be able to say he had a weak break, but he's worked on that now, so it's just nothing lacking in his game at all. But I tell you what, Tony Crosby's not going to be afraid of him. Tony's a confident player. He knows his own game and stays within his limits. He's beaten a lot of champions.
And he plays the game at his pace as well. A bit of a shock after Tony Drago flying around the table to see somebody as measured as Crosby. He's not slow. He's just taking his time and lining up his shots.
He'll try to stay within his rhythm. Play what you're comfortable with until they put the shot clock on you. Solid play thus far.
You would know more than me, Jerry, I suspect, but looking at Crosby, his mannerisms and his demeanour, and you can see it is standing room only here to see the great man in action. And no, we're not talking Tony Crosby, but let's go back to Tony Crosby. There seems to be a bit of snooker in this guy's background, the way he walks around the table.
Yeah, yeah, he's got kind of a squarish stance as well, although he's really adapted to the game of pool very, very well. Ooh, he's not going to be happy with that.
He's dragged that back way too far.
Way too far. That English really grabbed on the cloth. The players kind of expect the cloth to be rather slick the first day, but that one really took hold.
Haven't we seen in just about every match we've had so far of day one, the first couple of racks, both players, all the players have made one or two strange shots that you just think they must be getting used to the table, because we're seeing it time after time.
Yeah, it's not. I don't want to be overly cruel, but the first couple of racks have been rather clumsy in every match so far. Oh, what a shot. Nothing clumsy about that.
No. He'd made it hard for himself, but the get out was easy. Look at this. That is not an easy shot to make.
Phew, great shot from Tony.
And he's even given himself angle on the 8 as well.
I'm going to be curious if he gets through these two balls, what kind of applause he gets from this crowd.
I think he'll get respectful applause. I don't think they're pro Reyes. I'm not sure they're anti anybody, these fans. So well, let's hear. Let's listen.
There you go. All right. Doesn't really surprise me. The people here in the Philippines, the few days we've been here, they've been marvelous to us. Just a great people. So Tony Crosby draws first blood, leads the great Efren Reyes 1-0, and this is how he got there. Solid play.
He's going to need an awful lot more of that if he's going to have a chance against this fella. But remember, it's in relative terms, it's a sprint, a race to 8. And Crosby's got as much chance as anybody of claiming the scalp of the great man.
Efren Reyes to break, trailing 1 rack to 0.
Now let's see what he can conjure up with his first break here. The magician. Wing ball goes down. He's got something else in the middle as well. A good spread of balls.
Yeah, that was the 1 that went in the middle, and he's got a shot on the 2.
So 1 and 3 are down.
Yes. And I don't know, looking for problems here. Getting on the 4 is not automatic by any means. And then the 5 also presents a challenge. Boy, he makes it look easy.
That is quite a shot, because the cut was so fine that you thought, how's he going to get position? And he's got terrific position, and all he can do now, if he puts this one down, if he can pick up position on that 5, he's going to make this rack a procession. He's having a look.
Leaning it. He wants that cue ball to roll out a little bit. I think he's made it, though.
Has it cleared the 6 enough? I think it has, certainly the way he's lining it up.
Yeah, he didn't even need to spin it, so. rest of this rack should be fairly automatic. However, at some point, Reyes has to break Crosby's serve. Crosby having won the lag.
The winner of this title in 1999, of course, Reyes. But since then, by his very high standards, he's been very disappointing. Just one quarter-final appearance since. And when he crashed out, I think he actually went out in the group stages last year. That was the big shock of last year's championship.
Yes, it was. But that was prior to the eye surgery. And that may have been the reason he went ahead with that surgery, because he said he wasn't happy with the way he was seeing the edge of the ball. Efren Reyes ties us up 1 apiece.
Yes, and he never gave Crosby a sniff, did he?
No.
Just running out and making it look so easy.
Well, that's the thing about Reyes. It looks like a very simple game when he's playing. It's his control of the cue ball is just unmatched.
But you made the point that this man lost the lag, therefore he is going to have to take a rack on the Crosby break. So that's the pressure that's on him. The pressure that's on Crosby is that he knows he has got to break consistently and well and get a little bit of luck on those breaks as well. He doesn't want to be getting Reyes up at the table too often on his break, because if Reyes gets, as you see, control of the table, it's very difficult to get him off.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is get into a safety war with Efren Reyes.
1-1.
Just need to stay on offense.
He's on, but that cue ball's been given a kick, and that one's dropped, which is, well, actually, no, I think he's going to be okay. He's
well, he's got a long shot.
Oh, no, he's got the
on
long two. The two's still up, isn't it? Yeah.
And he has a real problem with the 4 ball, the pink ball. You can see how that comes over to this side rail and has the 7 ball blocking it a little bit.
It's going to be tough to run out from here.
Yeah, I don't know. Golly, 9 ball it pays to be aggressive in 9 ball, but when Efren Reyes is the guy who can get out of his chair if you miss, you've got to take that into account.
Well, in this situation last time, Crosby showed patience, played for safety, had a terrific safety shot, and he's going to try and find safety again, and tucking that blue in there. Well, gets a little bit of applause.
Yeah, but he's not happy with it because he's lined the 2 ball up with the 7. If Efren can strike the 2 ball, the 7's liable to go down into the corner pocket. And that's what Reyes is taking a look at now.
And it does look like there may be a channel through there.
All he has to do is hit it at the right speed so that the pocket will take the ball. I believe they're frozen. Has to avoid hitting the 4, obviously.
Look at that.
Well, the only person in the room not happy with that shot is Efren. He made the 7, but boy, has he left himself a tough act on this 2 ball.
Settle down then, please.
And that's the result. And look where he's left it.
Well, Efren had the opportunity here to break Crosby's serve, as we've been speaking of, but he's given the table back to Tony, and he's cured all the problems on the table.
Yeah.
So
All the headaches have gone.
Yeah, all Tony's got to do is connect the dots.
Well, it was a wonderful pot, wasn't it, from Reyes? But as you say, he left himself a bit of a headache. Although it's still a surprise any time he misses. That 2-ball bounced in and out of the jaws. And Tony doesn't want to be getting too close to that 4. Just about got away with that.
Well, you know he would rather be digging down on the bottom of this cue ball on this shot and drawing back toward the 4 rather than running forward. But he'll live with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just about okay. That'll do. I thought for a moment it was going to keep on rolling and get under that 5-ball, which would have made the cueing action a little bit tricky, but he should have no impediments there whatsoever. He does have the 8 tucked up on that long rail to the right as we were looking.
Yeah, he's going to want to be fairly straight on that ball. Oh, my.
Dear.
First, you got to get there. And, you know, these corner pockets on the foot rail have been very, very tight. They've haunted a lot of players today. But, boy, that ball flew off the rail.
Well, you can't give openings to Efren Reyes like that and expect to get away with it.
No, and now, given that he gets through these final 3 balls, it'll be Crosby who needs to steal a game off of Reyes' break. Reyes going to be very disgusted with the result of this shot. He's not going to be happy with this position.
I mean, even if he pulls this off, it's not a good shot by anybody's standard, is it? Because all he needed to do was track it back a little bit,
right?
Which wasn't the hardest shot in the world. Instead, he's left himself a kind of no man's land shot. Does he roll it up the rail? Does he bank it?
Oh, he'll roll it up the rail, but getting shape's the problem. He's missed it.
And he only has himself to blame. It wasn't that shot that was the problem, it was the previous one. Contact with the rail came too early and pushed that ball out.
Nice and quiet, please.
Yeah, the tables have dried out throughout the day. They're playing differently now. But that shouldn't have affected Reyes. This is his first match on the table. Efren reacts as much as you'll ever see Efren react.
And Tony Crosby gets away with it. Crosby thought his error was going to cost him the rack. Instead, the magician came up with a mistake. So this group match goes with serve, 2-1 Crosby. And with a chance now, if he can hold his nerve and get reasonable fortune on his break, to get on the hill. But he has had a dry break in this match.
Leading 6 racks to 4.
Well, Crosby will be telling himself, well, 1 dry rack, you're not going to get 2. And there's been very few dry racks on this table so far. That may be the only one, in fact. Let's see if that wing ball drops, and it does.
So does the 1. He's got to play for a shot on the 3 now. No, the 2, excuse me. Pardon me.
And whether that 2's path to the pocket is obscured by the 8, I'm not sure. We can't quite get the angle on that. Check out where that 2 and 8's going. Look.
Oh, yes, he has a problem. And you know, okay, he's okay now. I thought he was going to get out of his pace there for a minute and get down on the shot too quickly, but he's back studying it now.
Can he bounce off that 2 and put the 8 down?
He could carry him, but I think he's going to go for the combination because he winds up with the 8-ball blocking the 2. Now, however, Efren has a fairly easy carom on the 8-ball. He'll strike the 2 first and put the 8 in the corner, unless he decides to prove me a fool and bank the 2 ball back into the corner. Needs that ball to bounce.
Has it bounced enough?
Oh boy, no sir.
Is there a bank on side pocket?
Well, there is, but he's going to
maybe top right.
I think he's going to go ahead and cut it down into the top left corner. That gives him shape on the 3, but it's a no gimme. This is a tough shot.
The thing is with Reyes, you look at a table when you're watching a Reyes match and you just broaden your scope because there's shots that he could come up with that very few other people could.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. He's going to look for that very fine cut.
Well, what do we
goes
know?
for the bank instead and doesn't get it.
I'm surprised he went for that. I really am.
The question is, can Tony Crosby thread the needle here? Does that pass the 3 that looks like it may be blocking, and the 4, because they're very much in the vicinity, both of them. But strange choice there from Reyes, as you say.
Right now, everything going Tony's way, and wow. This rack, if he finishes through this rack, he'll be on the hill. Reyes still stuck at 4.
And what have we said throughout the tournament? That the way this format is, that all the groups now are 4 men in each group, and they all play each other once. The top 2 will qualify. So if you lose your first match, you're basically in a can't lose again situation.
Absolutely.
Reyes will step up next time, knowing that he could be one more loss away from going out.
Right. Then even he may feel some heat.
Even he may decide, yeah. Hello, that's tracking back a little bit too far for comfort, is it?
No,
He's got the angle, yeah.
He needed that for the angle.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the butterflies must be really having a picnic in Crosby's stomach right now.
Against the best player this sport has ever produced, Tony Crosby, with a 9 here, puts himself on the hill. The applause is stilted, let's put it that way. Nothing against this man. I think these fans respect what he's doing here, but this is not what they've come to see. Tony Crosby on the hill against the magician.
Well, Efren's made some uncharacteristic shot choices, I shall say.
Well, if he makes another uncharacteristic shot choice, we could close the book on this match.
Yeah, but you know what? We better not close the door on Reyes too quickly.
But he has to break serve on both of the Crosby breaks now, and that is a tall order.
That's a very tall order.
You're basically putting yourself in a position now of trusting that a bit of luck goes your way.
Efren Reyes to break.
First of all, he's got to take care of his part of the deal. Get himself a decent break. The wing ball goes down. He's more or less in the middle of the table.
And he does have a shot on the 1.
So, but did you hear, Jerry? This is a really good break. Not one ripple of applause because these fans are sitting on their hands at the moment.
They're nervous.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to bet on someone to come from behind, bet on Reyes.
The only small cloud on this particular table is the 6-7 that are together, but I mean there's so many different ways that Reyes could attack that 6.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't present any kind of problem for him at all.
No, he should be able to go right through this rack. Well, if he's worried, you'd never know it.
No. It's almost like he's decided, right, I'm going to run my rack. Come on, Tony, come up and beat me. Put the pressure on, yeah.
Right. If you can beat me, more power to you.
And he is gracious in defeat, isn't he?
Very.
Yeah,
Always.
He's not a sour loser.
No, not at all. He wins well and he loses well.
Absolutely inexplicable.
I have no explanation to offer for that.
We're all lost for words. This defies belief. You see it, you don't believe it.
And you can't say that ball skidded because he missed it too badly for that to be just a skid.
Did you see Crosby's reaction there? As if to say, I'm up next. He was planning for his break.
Right.
Settle down.
Well, there you go, Tony Crosby. 2 balls to claim the scalp of Efren Reyes. No pressure. And he's overcut it. That's what pressure does.
I'm telling you.
It was racing through his mind, wasn't it? You could see it. I've got this for the match.
Right. That
And he
one
snatched
shot.
at it. And Reyes is out of jail. And they'll cheer the roof off here with relief. Their man is still in this.
Take a
but
listen.
Goodness knows how. Well, we know Reyes has a short memory. I wonder what Tony Crosby's memory's like. He's going to have to put that one to the back of his mind quickly. That was a shocking miss. This rack not about Reyes at all until he had that uncharacteristic miss on the 8 that really said game, set and match. That was it. It's all over. But then Crosby overcooks his cut and Reyes stays alive. Amazing.
It is amazing. But I don't expect Crosby to be upset by that. I mean, we've seen his mental strength throughout this match. I think he'll come right back, be just fine.
Honestly, looking back now, mentally he was ready for his break. Because he didn't think he was getting up at the table there.
Right.
And suddenly he found himself there, and Reyes, well, he's still in it, isn't he? Because when you can pull out a shot like that, look at what he does with that cue ball. Any time you let him up to the table,
Rack 13. Crosby to break.
he could do that kind of damage. And that's what's going through Crosby's mind right now. Close the deal right here. He would get another chance if he doesn't here, but would you want to break for the match on a hill match against Efren Reyes?
Well, he's not going to be overly pleased with this. He was hoping to have an easier shot on the 1, but the 1 certainly goes right into the side pocket. You can see how these balls set up on the break shot. He's got a full open pocket in that side pocket. The problem is navigating the traffic to get to the 2 ball.
If he does, Jerry, he should clean up.
He should. But if he doesn't, oh, the weight will get so heavy.
You don't want Efren Reyes snapping at your heels. This is a huge shot. And he's choked again.
Uh-oh.
Now, where's that going? Is he going to get lucky?
He did indeed, I believe. I don't think there's an alley there. Not a full alley.
And maybe I'm a bit harsh to say he choked there because that wasn't the easiest shot.
Well, it was a shot he should have made.
Yeah. And looking at that angle, and Reyes has got the perfect angle on it. Sometimes these camera angles can be deceiving. Reyes is looking straight down the barrel there and saying, does it go? And from his reaction,
I think he just told us.
yeah.
Too much distance to try a jump, but Efren is the master of masse. He can swerve that ball just a little bit to clear that 5.
With the knowledge also that if you leave it standing, that could be your last shot of the match.
Right. Well, now he is going to go over the edge of the 5.
Hello, what's happening here?
Now he needs a roll. And I think he's going to.
It's an easy kick.
Well, it is, but you have to, if you come off the backside of that 1 ball, the cue ball is going to be headed right for a scratch in the corner. So you've got to hit it pretty full. Where you'd like, I mean, the easiest kick would be to drive the cue ball into a rail that doesn't exist because the side pocket's there. So he's got a little work to do here. Oh, what a shot! Write him off as being in a tough situation, and he comes up with a miracle like this.
That's sensational.
Certainly is.
He's got another tough one though now with the 2, but if he can sink this and get position on the 3, the winning post comes into view.
You know, with that kind of shot making, you have to say that Crosby deserves this match.
And you've got to go for that kind of shot against Reyes. You're not going to tiptoe through a match with him.
No, you're not going to win a safety battle with him. Oh, but
this isn't easy.
No, this is a tougher shot into the side pocket than the 8-ball he missed in the last rack.
And I wonder if that's on his mind. Not only has he got to make the shot, he's got to get position on that red 3.
He's decided to play a safety. I do not blame him a bit.
Oh, has he got away with it?
Yes, he has.
Got to give it to this crowd, Jerry. They appreciate their pull.
Yep. And I'm going to appreciate if Reyes makes a hit on this ball.
If he doesn't, it's ball in hand for the American. But even from there, how's he going to get that 2 down?
Well, he won't. He'll play for another safety, and then he could play for that 3 foul rule, because if Reyes can't hit it 3 times in a row, it's loss of game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And
he chose to make the table a little bit tougher, although I'm not certain that he did that.
He clearly wanted nothing to do with getting up there, because he's realized that Tony's got enough problems as it is.
You know, what he's done is made Tony's path to a really lock-up safety tougher by putting the 9-ball there. Just wants to barely feather off that 2. He didn't really want to run into that, and he certainly doesn't want it to fall. Oh my goodness. Now he's got to play himself out of his own safety.
Thank you.
Luck has really turned into Reyes' corner.
Oh, what an extraordinary rack this is turning out to be. Just when you think Efren's in deep trouble, Tony's come up with this. He did not need that.
Not in the least. Golly, when you think about the odds of that happening.
The irony is he's got a sight on that pink, but there's a high risk of on the blue, excuse me. There's a risk of a scratch, so he's had to put a lot of English on that. And this is bouncing out. And that's trouble for Reyes, for Crosby, I suspect.
Yeah, Reyes has a clear shot into the corner.
Well, that one went straight into the heart of the pocket.
Reyes just taking a moment to plot out the rest of the table. He knows that he's missed some shots in the past few games that he should not have. He doesn't want that to reoccur.
So many times you'll see the players play for position in the center of the table.
Well, I wonder how much Tony Crosby is sitting in his chair stewing on this.
Oh.
He was up at 7-4 with 2 balls to win the match. He's had the break here to win the match, and neither opportunity has fallen for him. And now it's 7-6, and Reyes up next to join him on the hill. We've got a few more twists and turns in this one.
Yeah, you can never put Reyes in the grave early.
This would be a bad time to nip off and make yourself a drink in the kitchen. You stick around with this one. The best may be yet to come.
Man, I really thought Crosby was going to be celebrating by now.
He didn't get the luck in that last rack,
No, he didn't.
but he had the chance on that 8 ball in the previous rack just to close the book on Efren Reyes. He's still okay.
Reyes has gotten more rolls this match, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
Yeah.
I mean, remember that fluke on the 9 ball.
Yep. How big could that prove to be? But even if Reyes runs out here, it's still Crosby up next.
Yep.
So he still has the initiative. Hello. No. That's an interesting looking table. Okay, so the 9's gone north, but look at that cluster below it. You've got 5 balls all within a very close proximity to each other. The 1 is easy. After that, it gets messy.
Yeah, you can see how they all cluster together on the left-hand side of the table. His problem is what to do with the 3 ball, which is going to be the shot after this blue 2. The red 3 tied up against the black 8.
Well, if he clears this mess up,
He can break those up right here. And doesn't.
and he's got the combination, I would think.
I don't think he can reach it.
Yeah, that.
See,
Does that pink get in the way?
Yeah, the pink's in the way. What is he doing? Well, he did clear it. The camera angle fooled me. From where I sat, it looked like he was driving straight into the 4.
But you know that the mind games are going on, because that's exactly what Tony Crosby is thinking right now. I've got to break and win this rack.
You know what we haven't seen all day is a golden break.
Wouldn't that be timely?
Final rack, Tony Crosby to break.
Whether or not he wins this match, Tony Crosby has certainly won some friends here.
He's won some friends. He's made a lot of fans.
He's got something down. Where's the cue ball going? Where's the 1 going? That's the big question.
Ooh. This could have worked out a lot better for Tony than what he has here. Efren gets up to take a look. But he's in control of the table. What he can't do is play too quickly here. He's got to plan the table through. And
Oh, did he play for safety?
he played it safe.
And is he going to get away with it?
Yes, he has. That's showing remarkable good humor under the pressure of this situation.
Hey, you're in the World Championship on the #1 table, playing the best player in the world. Hey, go and enjoy it. And he has.
Settle down then, please.
Well, we've seen this man work miracles before. He needs one now.
Well, he's made the contact that he needed.
Yeah. He's not happy with that at all.
And Tony Crosby might have just thrown this match away.
Well, you're right, he might have, but there's a lot of work to be done. This is not an easy layout. Of course, neither was the last one.
And he made that a cakewalk. But that was not a good shot from Tony Crosby. Full view of this ball. And he's up and running.
Tough. To make that 4-ball in the side, which will be the third shot coming up, he's got to get in a real tight window between the 5 and the 7 when he plays the 3. But if he can do that, this rack is his.
This is the shot, isn't it?
This is the shot.
This is effectively the shot for the match. Where's that ball coming out to? He wants it to stop. I think he may just have got away with that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's close, isn't it? It's close.
The look on Efren's face says he's not happy with it.
Oh, he certainly made it harder for himself. That is a real close call.
5 balls left. One of these men will walk away a winner, and one will be extremely disappointed.
And we still have no idea which one it's going to be, how it's going to go. Can Reyes dig himself out of the hole he's put himself in here?
What a match.
Oh, it's had everything, hasn't it? Reyes has overcooked it, but has he got away with it, or has it stuck its nose out?
No, it stuck its nose out.
More than its nose, I think.
Crosby.
He may take this on.
Of course.
He has to, doesn't he?
Yeah. This is not the tough shot. The next shot's the tough shot.
I don't know about you, Jerry. I got sweaty palms watching it. I'm glad I'm not playing it.
I know I'm more nervous than either one of those guys.
If he's got the temperament for the big stage, this is where we find out.
Yeah, this is the shot right here. Can he hold it together for this?
No. Missed it by a mile.
You know, he got out of his pace on that shot. He rushed it.
He's done that twice in this match, and it's going to cost him the whole thing.
Well, it's not over yet.
You were saying?
Well, now it may be.
You tell these fans this one isn't over. You tell Tony Crosby it's not over. Can we have a little bet on that, Jerry, please?
No.
I'll get your money quick.
No.
It's been a great match. It's been wonderful entertainment. Somehow, Efren Reyes is going to get out of it with the win. Goodness knows how.
I've seen easier outs. He's still got to really control that cue ball. Boy, oh boy.
Well, you won't need us to tell you if this 9-ball goes down. You'll hear from the reaction.
Can you believe it? He's going to fluke it in the side. No, he's not. Tony Crosby has to make one more shot. He was ready to throw that towel on the table. He was ready to concede that shot. I wonder why he did not.
How could you script this?
You know what? If I were Tony Crosby, I'd take a break right now. I would take a break and walk away from this table.
Quiet, please. Quiet.
the last ball of the last rack. And it's still not over. It is now.
It is now. Tony Crosby has defeated the tournament favorite, Efren Reyes.
In a match that had absolutely everything you could want.
What unbelievable joy must be going through this man's heart right now.
He must have thought he'd thrown it away twice.
Absolutely.
Reyes coming up with the most extraordinary error right at the finish.
Oh, let's take another look at some of these shots.
We've nailed down the coffin lid on Tony Crosby, and then Efren Reyes does that. And even then you thought he might have fluked it.
Efren couldn't believe it. I'm going to have to ask him if that ball skidded. It looked like that ball skidded.
And Crosby's trying to keep his heart in his chest watching that. Where's it going to end up?
Oh, what emotion we have had in this match.
You can't get any better than that.
Oh, don't you wish they were all like this?
Well, absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. In the context of the group stages, though, it's Tony Crosby in great shape in Group 2. He comes out with an 8-7 win. And Efren Reyes had better win his next match, otherwise he may be packing his cues and heading for home. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Let's rejoin Uday in the studio.